That's not fair. Like I missed half the time here because my system keeps crashing because I was trying to add a new player to my database. Funsies. Welcome to the Dynasty Grind. My name is Peter Howard at PA Howdy on Twitter. This is a live stream that for some reason we do 3 hours every Wednesday, in season, off season, out season, whatever kind of season you're talking about, where we talk about Dynasty fantasy football or just fantasy football in general. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, drop them in whatever little comment box sits below the window there on whatever streaming platform you're listening to. We're going live to Twitch and YouTube. Don't tell anyone because we don't know how we're getting away with it. Yeah. Let's talk about, what did I call it? Hype season. It's very much hype season. The value on those draft picks is starting to come up. Let's go talk to Outhouse from the Trade Addicts podcast and Zach Reed from the Dynasty Dummies podcast and see what we can figure out. Hey guys, how's it going?
I got to admit I missed that music last week.
All right,
the come in mute, the da 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 da. I'm like, you guys, it's nice to see you again. It's nice to see the chat, but really, I'm jamming out to the music.
That's really what we're all here for. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to crash everything that's open because my CPU usage is in the toilet still. It's still trying to recover.
You're trying to crash,
up, guys. Zach,
You're trying to crash everything for a senior wide receiver who had less than 900 yards receiving last year. Like that's where we're at. Like that's what we're doing. Come on, Pete.
That's the brand, Zach. Just roll with it. No, I insist on having every player I can. But also, what else am I going to do? It's Wednesday. Talk to you,
I suppose.
I think I'll just add something to our database. How you doing? We missed you last week.
I'm doing all right. Still hip deep in rookies. I got 2 more weeks of the Dynasty Dummies hootenanny. Doing 6 more receivers this week, and then everybody that I promised everybody that I'd get to that we haven't gotten to next week. So
Right. Tank Dell.
Tank Dell, Trey Palmer. You know those guys.
Next guy.
Tank baby.
Sam Laporta.
Definitely Tank Dell. That's all I had. That's awesome. And hey, Russ, I saw you last week, so you have no novelty to you whatsoever. Frank M in the chat at 8:40. Appreciate you. Evening, gents. Happy Wednesday. Would you trade Chase and Javonte for Brees and Amon-Ra in one QB?
No.
I mean, why?
I mean, honestly, like if he took I don't even really like Javonte all that much, but like Chase for Brees and Amon-Ra, that's not terrible.
Yeah.
But like I think that's like a first value you're adding that you don't need to.
I mean, you're taking 2 steps forward and like 5 back. I don't.
We come together.
We like Amon-Ra St. Brown, but it's because he's not valued like Chase at all entirely.
Well, I think that. Like I agree with us. I would not trade Chase for that. I think that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to have a pretty big value bump because it's going to be vogue to say that Amon-Ra St. Brown can be the wide receiver 1 or close to it this season because people are projecting an uptick in volume for Detroit and all that. And so that's going to happen. You're not going to be able to get Amon-Ra St. Brown for what you have been able to get him for, but still, Jamar Chase is like the wide receiver 1 or 2, period.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah.
And this next offer would be close if the 110 was actually 2 picks in the top 5. Like that's about where we are.
I like it.
Again, we like Waddle, but the 110 is like especially in one QB. There's a big difference between the two, you know. So no, neither of those are close for me. Chase is in that tier where pretty much most trades you come up with aren't going to be great. The only way to really trade them is if you're getting like Jefferson or one of those other top 12 wide receivers and just a bunch on top, or you're building and you accept many, many good things for one thing. And tends to be pretty extreme.
Yeah.
Benjamin Siegel, 12-team Superflex 101 and the 105, or CD and the 103. think he asked me about this one, or someone asked me about this one recently. Actually, someone was asking me if they would trade the 102 for CD, and I said, I guess a more QB, maybe. Superflex, no. And this is even more. This is a 101 and the 105 for CD.
Well, with CD and a quarterback.
Yeah.
So do you want Bijan and JSN or CD and
a quarterback?
Young?
Quarterback.
I mean, I don't think it's.
I think CD and Young.
I would say I don't think it's that far off one way or the other. Like this is one that really makes you think, Benjamin, and so to me that's a nice,
it's a good trade.
One way or the other. Like
my biggest problem is like I see the 105 or even sometimes the 104, and I'm just like, I just want JSN on my team.
Yeah,
like I have the 104 in TA11 and you have the 105.
Yeah,
you're not getting JSN. You better like one of those quarterbacks.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fine, but I was kind of hoping I would get JSN.
I mean, we could trade if you want. You want to trade up a pick?
No.
Like that's become my biggest problem. It's just like I know in reality, right now, JSN is probably wide receiver at best 7-8ish. Like if you want to be me about it, like do you have an actual ranking, Zach? Like where you put him amongst nowadays, like in the NFL?
Absolutely not.
Well, here's the thing. I put it this way: if JSN is CD Lamb for the first 3 years, I'll be pretty happy.
You'd be thrilled, absolutely, yeah.
So, like, you know, it's Bijan Robinson or a quarterback, kind of. And you got more risk in the 105 versus CD, but I think I don't know. It's like Zach says, you could go either way. You could wait till close to the draft till you have a better idea, but at the end of the day, you're just gonna have to make a call. I think I just take the 101.
See, I think I take CD in the 103, and I will absolutely personally bias the hell out of this. I'm cool just not ending up with a running back on my team, even though it's Bijan. Give me a quarterback and a young wide receiver, and I'm killed.
I don't hate it.
Like that's pretty much how I'm ending that one. Like that's
cool. What's Kamara valued at? It's the off season. He's a running back. He's got a suspension looming, and he's old, so nothing. I mean, don't trade him for nothing. But if you're trying to trade him away, no one's going to be excited to get him. So you're not going to get much.
A first for him, I think you take anything with a 1 on it right now.
Yeah, but
don't do that.
Like I don't know if you want to.
No,
I would.
Yeah, I don't mind. There's enough.
League.
Yeah, there's enough. There's enough nebulousness around Kamara that I don't mind it.
If you could get any first, fine. But yeah, Randy White. But ultimately, it's going to be whatever the people in your league think. But that's my best guess. Randy White, 12-team Superflex, 1.5 tight end premium, 6 points per passing touchdown, IDP 2. Wow. He sent the 210, the 303, and a 25 third for the 101.
Wait, what?
And the 1901, which even in IDP, I can't imagine a 19th round start. Oh,
this is a start. Okay. This is a startup.
He started with Mahomes, Burrow, Barkley, solid, and the 410, the 107, Debo Burks, Amari, Cooper, and Goddard. If this was not an IDP league, I'd be able to say you're doing pretty well so far. But with IDP,
from what I've heard, IDP you still don't draft in the first couple of rounds. But
but there are some that can really
change
things.
The 210 and the 303 to get up to the 101 in a startup, that feels good.
Yeah, it feels solid. I just that little wrinkle or something I don't know about.
What was the thinking behind the 25 third? That's what I want to know. How did that find its way in there?
We're just looking for other things to click, I guess.
Yeah, that's really it. But if I want to go up and I want to get Mahomes, I want to get Allen, yeah, I would easily send the 210 and the 303 to go get them.
I mean, it seems to have worked out pretty well so far. So.
Yeah. Actually, we did the Dynasty trade show, Addison and I, this afternoon about trading up for stud quarterbacks. And by the end, what we found out is you should just do it. There is very few things where you feel bad having Mahomes or Josh Allen on your team. We literally found one trade, and it was bad.
As a general rule, until it's corrected, just assume everyone's undervaluing quarterback significantly in Superflex. We're still not caught up. It's increased over the last few years, and John Hogue is out there trying to get us to go too far with it. But we haven't found our happy medium. So, yes. John Geratus. John, how you doing, John? 12-team, 1 QB, start 8. Stacked everywhere, but running back. Yeah, I feel you. And the 107, the 111, the 112. Chalk has running backs in each of those pick ranges. Chalk or Chalk? It's Chalk, right?
Chalk.
Chalk. Keep picks and try to trade for the running back stats. Or floated all 3 for the 101. So basically, what should he do? Should he try and package these to get the 101 or take his shots? Typical logic in a rookie draft, more draft picks are better, and you're in a good range for running backs. But if you can get the 101, you won't get the 101 because rookie drafts are a little different for me, in my opinion. Now, you guys speak.
No, that's it. You go get the 101. And if not, man, I don't know about trading for there aren't many running backs I want to go trade for right now.
Not unless you're scoring points and winning and you're making a move to clinch the final kind of a thing. No.
If I'm trading for a running back, I want it to be in August or September, right before the season starts. The very few running backs I would probably trade for right now, short of Bijan, right, is if people still aren't valuing Breece Hall the way they should be. If I can get Miles Sanders for a mid-late second, I want to do that.
What about Josh Jacobs? He's one of the because I still think he's undervalued.
I've seen trades for him lately where it seems like that's correcting a little bit, but if you can trade one of those picks for Josh Jacobs, I do that very easily. Float the 107 to the Josh Jacobs person and see if they say yes. And even if they don't, I would add the 112.
And it's a one quarterback
start 8.
So you want to be in the top 4 picks.
Yes, and that's pretty much it.
And that's that's
Josh Jacobs is a pretty good value. Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Ramondre Stevenson, maybe.
But I think that the thing that Jacobs is only 25. That's the thing that to me is kind of missed. I know that he's been in the league for a few years, but he's still reasonably young and it just came off a monster season and is still being undervalued. But
because we're a good target. Ultimately, though, try for the 101 first. That's the thing that you want.
Yeah.
Caleb, he has asked this question 3 times, a minute apart since 9:36, and then finally just gave up. Was fine, his money. Sorry about that, Caleb. We just answer them in the order they come in, but we do appreciate it. Hey, gents, 10-team Superflex start 9, half league here, half PPR league, I assume, half point PPR. He has Mahomes, Hurts, Geno, Carr at quarterback, great, but only JT Mixon at running back. It's actually pretty solid, to be honest with you, in a dynasty. Would you move Carr or J.K. Dobbins? For what?
No, Carr for J.K. Dobbins.
Oh, okay, I misread it. Sorry. I'm gonna blame it. Look, I broke my headphones, so that's a problem.
You were trying that last week, and I wasn't buying it, Peter.
Fair enough. I didn't break them so much as they broke, to be fair. In the Superflex, no. Carr for J.K. Dobbins, no.
No, I feel like Carr has more value than that.
Should be worth more than that.
Yeah.
And J.K. Dobbins, when healthy and as good as he is, Lamar might be gone, but I still think top 24 is more his Rangers outcome at this point, not top 12. So, no. That'd be a flat out no for me. But thank you, Caleb. Blake, Love, Brissett, Trask, Zappy, and Heineke are all available in my 1QB Dynasty. In a 1QB? There's a reason. Herbert and Brady with 100 fab to last me until week 17. From now? Wow. 12 team, 32 roster spots. How much are you spending on these guys? Not much in a 1QB. Put the minimum bid in.
Yeah. Love is the only one I would. Yeah, I'd put $1 on Brissett just in case.
I think Zappy is actually going to play in New England this year.
instead of Mac. Yeah. I wondered.
There's a lot of. I tried to trade for Zappy when he got drafted in the
TA11.
Yeah, TA11. Like I immediately went and added like my next pick and then 2 future rookie picks to try to get him, and the guy was like flat out no, because there's a lot of buzz in New England that Mac Jones and the coaching staff don't see eye to eye, which is not a good coaching staff to not see eye to eye with. Like out of all of the coaching staffs in the NFL, they'll just be like, yeah, good luck in the New York with the Jets. Have fun.
Bill Belichick.
I think he had a pretty good profile. Did okay in a few games. I don't know about any of the noise, and I think I don't know. It's what it is. But he had a pretty good game or two. I think had a pretty good profile. Mac Jones did poorly. I've wanted to buy Mac Jones a lot, but that's one of the hesitations. Like Zappy's a threat.
Yeah.
But, yep. And it's the type of team who would. So, yeah, like you say.
But I don't think, like in a one quarterback, I don't think any of them are really exciting because it's you have Herbert. You're going to play Herbert 16 out of 17 weeks.
Like I would take Jordan Love. Like, again, I'm still talking about putting like $1 or $2 of a shot at Jordan Love because like we don't know. And if he's decent, maybe you can do Love in wide receiver for better wide receiver. Like you're not hoping he does something for your team because you have Justin Herbert. And if Justin Herbert, I'm not going to say these words out loud, you need to plan something else. It doesn't matter what you have on your roster at that point. So I don't think it's.
I think if you say something like you might be able to add something to Love to get a second after he starts or something, I can get on board. But like, I'm not excited. I would try Zappy first. But either way, in one QB, they're minimum bids, especially this far out for me. But just be first,
I have so many Mac Jones shares.
I know. I have a couple, I think. Randy, I have top 7 rookies, then a significant drop. Cool.
Yeah.
Bijan 4 QBs, provided they get good draft capital, which is a fair caveat there. Gibbs and JSN. I got a couple others, but yeah, that's not bad.
Addison needs to be in there.
Yeah. Addison. Personally, I like Downs as well a lot.
He's not in that top tier for me, but
he's right after it. Yeah, but then again, there's a couple of those quarterbacks I probably just want to draft or try and trade out of it best.
I don't think that you're going to be happy with Will Levis in fantasy.
Yeah. This is not a take about, I'm hoping they have great NFL.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not a bet against the player. No, it's
but like fantasy. I think he's better than a lot of people are, because you hear people just come in and just completely crush him.
It's a very
they get the it's funny because I think they get the Josh Allen comp confused
and he's
with
fun.
Will Levis.
I heard that interview. He's fun and yeah.
Well, but like he throws the ball a long way, but he also is really good at checking down, and he completed 64 or 65% of his pass. Like he's not oh my goodness, he can't be a quarterback, but he throws the ball far. Like him having a big arm gets him in more trouble than it does affords him success. But I also don't think that he's got that ceiling like some of the running quarterbacks and big arm quarterbacks that are in the NFL. So like the guys who are running it out to the nth degree, I think are wrong. And the guys who are pushing it down to the depths of the ravine for a floor, I think that's probably not quite there either. But he's whatever. He's fine.
No, yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. And I'm not even evaluating. It seems to be what's coming off the page. But he's a quarterback in Superflex, so I'd rather trade out than not draft him, as it were. But this is an aside.
He gets personality points for me for the one or two things I ever heard him say. Someone asked him why he's throwing in the combine when none of the other QBs are. I got a cannon.
Yeah.
Sold.
Yep.
Yep. I like you.
Did you see his Instagram post where he was like, he got hurt, and so he had like slimmed way down, and then he started working out again. Then he's up to like whatever it was, 220, and he's just like shredded. And he's like,
I saw like there's a picture of him flexing. I could. People that have, first of all, getting a tattoo here, I hear, is like one of the most painful things ever. So like, besides the fact that like, good for you, clearly you're tough. I just hate like just faithful or strength or like, it's just like not a fan of that. But like, yeah, dude's ripped.
Yeah.
Well, clearly because
he's an NFL player.
Like, at that point, he needs to get a tattoo of a cannon.
Not all NFL players are ripped, Peter. Mac Jones looks like me.
I mean, Hunter Renfrow, right?
The best part is for Mac Jones that there's actually a football card with him without a shirt on, and it's just like peak physical form, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
But yeah, to go by position, there are at least 3 quarterbacks in this draft class that I think are well worth being excited to do. There are 2 running backs I wouldn't give up for the world, and 4 wide receivers I'm really interested in being active and trying to get on my roster. So that's a pretty fat class as far as I'm concerned. So 7's a good number when you put them all together, but I haven't done like a rookie draft board or nothing yet. Blake, love Brissett. We went through this one, right? Yeah, sorry for taking a minute to get to it. Caleb, is Lamar and the 101 too much for Jefferson? 10-team Superflex, half-point PPR. Yes. In a Superflex, Lamar and the 101 is too much for Jefferson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Way too much.
But I appreciate the energy. I appreciate you valuing Jefferson. But
that's harsh for Lamar's value. Like the dude's gonna play somewhere. Even if it's not this year, he'll still play for a lot of years after. Like he's not worth that.
Is there a reason? Like, has it worked out a lot there historically? And I'm just, being relatively new to NFL history, I don't know. Is there a reason fans of the sport are desperate to bet against players and towards the organization? Because that's what I find on my timeline constantly. Like, people can't wait for Lamar to be bad. And I'm like, why are you betting?
Peter,
like, I get being like, I'm a New England fan, but why the person, you're rooting against the person instead of the, like,
that's not just endemic to NFL fandom. Like we do that as a society. Like, I
didn't mean to make that sound like it was just NFL fans. I just don't understand it.
We do that as a society. How come you can't pay Elon Musk $8 for Twitter?
Oh, right.
Well, how are we cheering for? Like, you're cheering for the multi-billionaire. What are you doing? Like,
I actually,
it's not even just the rich poor thing. It's like, why treat like a company or the NFL is literally not a person. It's just a whole group of, like, it's not even sentient. I hope that wins.
It's 32 people. It is.
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't get it. Like, what? Like, Lamar is going to be bad without Baltimore, but Baltimore is going to be great without Lamar. Like, I don't think we're following along the when teams are good thing well here.
Do you want to know the real reason?
Yeah.
And I'll bring it back to Star Wars almost every time with everything. We're the fucking Empire. America, like that's the way we think. We are the fucking Empire. Like, we want to root for
I didn't mean for it to get social, but okay.
When it comes down to it, we're all just part of the Empire, and it's ingrained in us. And they play a game for a living that they should just shut up and play their game.
Now you got
I'm just talking football. Like, Baltimore it's a well-managed squad. They do good things. They get a lot out of their players. Then they get Lamar Jackson, one of the best teams in the NFL, and now we're like, so they don't need Lamar, obviously. I'm like, no, Lamar probably had something to do with. No? Okay, cool. I don't know. I think he's going to be good when he plays again.
There are also, like, I would not put it past probably 90% of the head coaches and GMs to be that arrogant. That it's like, I'm not saying this of Andy Reid because he always was very good at coaching the people he has in front of him, but like, it's not Patrick Mahomes. It's me. Get rid of Patrick Mahomes. I can do this with anybody.
But
I'm not saying he would say that, but I feel like that's what a lot of head coaches feel.
Isn't that the coaching mentality? Is I'll beat you with my players, and then we can switch, and I'll beat you with your players. Like, that's the kind of the
very
the
far into my very low self-esteem brain.
I mean, coaching matters, but I don't think that clipboard holding talent's really doing quite as much as I might think. I don't know. Just a thought. Spock 498 there. There's an exponential curve there, but whatever. The 101 or Garrett Wilson and Tyler Algier. It's a 101.
101.
I saw the plus and I'm like, ooh, I might be able to. Nope, not enough.
Yeah.
And we didn't even consider the team format. So, no, we're just out on that. But
still Bijan and Tyler and yeah. No.
Yeah. I mean, and I like Garrett Wilson, but give me the best running back
ever.
Yeah. Well,
it's going to be in the NFL.
But he's he should come in and be a top 5 running back for as far as we.
You hate comps. See. I hate comps, but is there a comp? Like I have a hard time visualizing running backs for
Bijan. So when I watched Bijan Robinson, what he reminded me of was Dalvin Cook with a little bit more pop. Like
I came up to that one.
That's what he felt like is he has that ability to get outside and be explosive, that was the Dalvin thing. Like Dalvin, I know he ran a 7.273 cone. Dalvin could get outside and then get down the field. And Bijan Robinson does that. He cuts. He almost teleports with his cuts. Like I don't know that I've seen a guy.
2 Jedis, 1 draft.
Yeah, like I don't know if I've seen a guy cut as suddenly and as far as Bijan. Like he just.
That's how I felt watching Kadarius Toney, healthy his rookie year.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not a
no,
Toney
just
guy,
the way he cuts.
Yeah.
Nothing about him being good at anything else.
Oh yeah,
his change of direction was disgusting.
Stupid athletic. Yeah.
Like nothing about being good at football or anything. Just like watching him stop and then end up over there somehow while he was running full speed. It's just like I don't think human bodies do that. And then you pulled a hamstring. That makes sense.
Like the GIF of Christian McCaffrey where like he goes to cut and they like disappear him and then he shows up over here. The guy like dives out of the way.
Does the night crawler thing.
Yeah.
Wait. 12-team Superflex tight end premium. Have an offer for the offer of the 102 for giving me the 104. So you're trading away the 102 to get the 104 and the 108. Is that too much?
No.
Though I will be.
No.
He'll get the 102 for giving.
He's giving the 104 and the 108 to get the 102.
I see what he's
saying. Okay. If you care which QB you get, yes, I would do that.
Yeah, that's kind of just that's my answer to most draft questions. If you're going to get someone in particular, yes, I give up. I do that. But if you're going up just the idea of being higher, then no, stay in the 10.
Wait on this, Rob. Though, if you don't have a strong feeling right now about which quarterback you want, wait on this until after the draft happens, like the NFL.
But if you do, now's the best time to move because no one else has a firm feeling yet. Yep. Like if you're in on Richardson and the upside's amazing, then now's a great time to do that. Because by the time we get to the draft, someone else might be like, oh, wow, a top 5 pick. I got to draft him. And then it's harder. So that's literally how you play it. It's how measure.
And honestly, the 108 to me is in this really nebulous area where if 4 quarterbacks go,
it's going to be very much you're draft.
Excited. Yeah. If 3 quarterbacks go, then you're at the okay, do I take Levis? Do I take Quentin Johnston? Do I take Downs? Do I take Zay Flowers? And to me, there are question marks on all of those guys, whereas I don't have very many question marks with Bijan Gibbs, JSN Addison, Richardson, Bryce Young, and Stroud. Like those players, I feel fairly confident as you can be. I mean, like,
tell you what, sorry.
No, it's all good.
You compared this class to the 2018 class a few times, I think. Mm-hmm. Something I've been doing is going back and looking at rookie drafts, like when they were occurring for different draft classes, just to remind myself what it's actually like to go through these things, because we always, think we know best and we're going to trade up and get our guy. 2018 class, it was harder to hit than it was to miss. It's harder to hit than it was to miss, unlike last year. Like there's there's a whole string of running backs that just did nothing for us. Darius Geis was still the running back 2 in August, for example, according to DLF ADP.
Right.
It's like, God damn, I hope you didn't do that. And then you've got some great hits here and there, but it's a fun exercise if anyone's interested in looking back at the ADP or going back through DLS ADP or even, Fantasy Calc or whatever data you look like. Not because it's going to pattern, oh, this is where I get the running back, this is where I get the wide receiver, but just to remind yourself the variance in a practical sense. This is what round 1 looked like. Man, look at all those misses between hit 1 and hit 2. And the tight ends in that draft class that went later. And I think Kittle was that year, wasn't he? And that was like a nothing pick. And it's it's good prep besides doing mocks, especially once we have the draft, just to go remind yourself of what it was like to go through these picks with foresight. It's it's pretty remarkable. And that's kind of why the default is always like keep the 101, because that's like the safest bet. And there is so much we get wrong, especially when the 101s are running back. Would you trade Andrews for Kelsey in non-tight end premium? Straight up, it's getting tough to do that.
You shouldn't have to. Like,
I
think more people will have Andrews ranked above Kelsey. So if you could, in the words of my good buddy Kane Fassell, if you could give me a breath of fresh air on top of Kelsey for Andrews, I'd take it. Kelsey is still my tight end 1. While I am not a fan of same position, same tier trades, if you would rather have Kelsey on your team than Andrews, yeah, I'd go do that.
Yeah, it's not the trade I'd be aiming for. If I've got Kelsey, I'm probably keeping Kelsey. If I've got Andrews, I'm keeping Andrews. I'm trying to use something else to get the other one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the value difference between them is like 0.9 on Dynasty Trade Calculator, and it's somewhat similar in the DLF Trade Calculator. It's 0, so you kind of just stand on your man if you have one, and you trade for whichever one's easier to trade for in your league if you can. But there's almost no value difference once you adjust Kelsey being Kelsey and Andrews being, what is he? Slightly younger, 6 years younger. Okay. It kind of comes out to be the same thing. Which you are free to do. And so the answer is nothing. You send it even if you just want the other player. And if it gets accepted, it's accepted. Madden's passed. 105 or Ayuk?
The 105.
105, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I like Ayuk, but that's heavy. Ayuk, the 1 and the 112 and the 24.
Yeah, I saw that. No, I don't care. It's still the 105.
Yeah, it's still the 105 at this point. Yeah.
Don't even make noises, Peter. It's the 105.
Still the 105.
I know you like Ayuk, but
no, it's risk of draft picks. Like I like my guy at 105. In a super flex though, no, it's just the 105. But if you miss on that pick, then Ayuk's a good play, and you just lost him for nothing. But it's a 105 in the Superflex. Pretty easy.
All right. More importantly, I'm sending a trade to Har, who is known Saquon guy. What do you think of Tua, Saquon, and a 24 first for Patrick Mahomes?
That's not bad? No,
I'm willing to pay it. Is it too light? His team is very middle. Like, he's good, but he's not competing. I got second place and I'm pissed off, so I want some studs, on my team. So I want Patrick Mahomes. I don't have any Patrick Mahomes.
What do you have?
What's the trade?
See what he says. Tua, Saquon Barkley, and a 24 first for Patrick Mahomes. And this is from Mr. Saquon 01. So I'm hoping he values it a lot. Yeah, I'm hitting propose. I sent it, and I'm going to go message him.
Go harass him. That's the way.
I sent him Saquon for Garrett Wilson like 4 days ago, and it's still sitting there.
I'm not sure if Randy is talking to you, Russ,
That's
or
me.
someone
No,
in
it
the
is.
chat here.
Because I said, what's the 25-30 even doing in there?
And
And
he
he just
said,
think they
dude,
asked for it. And I'm like, oh yeah, no,
I was
absolutely.
getting
Yeah.
Saquon.
Like I don't understand the line of thinking of why they asked for it. Like after all of that, 25-30 and it's a deal.
Do you know what the third round looks like in 2025? Man,
No, I don't.
The third round picks are here every year. It's just real difficult to know which one.
that one does.
that one pick, yeah. Yeah, you were getting Patrick Mahomes. I respect it. Joseph, great show. Your 12 teams with flex PPR. Thank you very much, Joseph. T. Higgins plus a 104 or Chase. Chase.
Great show.
Chase, but that one's a lot closer than the first one we had.
Come on, Russ, say it.
Oh,
He's not even 85 anymore, though.
If this is super flex, and
It doesn't matter, Russ. Come on.
It is super flex, 12 team.
Does this? Oh, 12 team super flex. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing: if I'm rebuilding, and I know the real answer is you freaking build around Chase, but to walk away with Higgins and most likely Anthony Richardson, who I want on all of my rebuilding teams, I don't hate that. It's not enough, but if that's all I could get and I feel the need to do it, I might as well get T. Higgins and a good quarterback.
Do you really think Richardson is going to fall to the 104? That's bad. That's bad process. Like, that's bad process.
Oh, no. I'm still saying, like, any of the quarterbacks, but
yeah.
Like
I know, Peter, you're sitting there going, you're not the Richardson guy. It's bad process.
No.
Doesn't mean I won't say he should be there.
Because here's the thing. There are some people who don't like Anthony Richardson. And this is why I actually say it, because you don't feel bad getting Stroud or Young. You don't. But some people don't like Richardson because they see the floor that is very, very low. So I will say it's a little bit of a risk to get Richardson, even though, man, that ceiling on top, like at the 104, like that's.
And to Zach's point, you really shouldn't think that way. So I'm not sure why we.
No, you want to go for ceiling, and if you
the floor on all of them is 0.
Because
if you miss, then you're back there again. Like whatever. But
I 1000% understand, but like if I'm at the 102, 103, okay, let's put it this way: if I'm at the 103 and Stroud got taken, am I taking Young or am I taking Richardson? Let's say I have a team that earned the 103, and it's probably because of injuries or whatever. But like I feel like I have a good team. I'm probably too risk averse to take Richardson. I would take Stroud and know I have a very good quarterback and feel good about it and go along my way. I'm not saying it's the right move whatsoever. I'm just telling you how my brain works. And we all know that doesn't always work right.
If in TA 11 Richardson is on the board and you take JSN, I'm going to, before I make my pick, walk outside. I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive to Shaw's. I'm going to find the most expensive bottle of champagne that Shaw's has. I'm going to walk back out in the parking lot. I'm going to make the pick. I'm going to shake it up and just spray champagne all over the Shaw's parking lot.
If you get your wife to record this, I will do it on purpose. Which very, very, very first Dynasty, not my first Dynasty draft, but my first like home Dynasty draft. We did the startup in person, which is great for about 5 rounds, and it's boring as shit if you're not a fun group of people.
Yeah.
No, they were the worst. We literally sat there with laptops on our laps, and I tried to make a joke, and people would tell me to shut up. I think this was 2016-ish, and I was pick 4 or 5, and I said I will. And this is, look, I get we don't know each other all of that well, but for the first round, we're walking to the front of the room and announcing our picks. We're gonna try and make this fun. And then I said, if Julio Jones falls to my pick, I will literally dance my way up to announce the pick. Better be damn fucking sure I dance my way up there.
What kind of dance?
What
kind of dance?
It started with the moonwalk, and then it turned into a little bit of, popping and locking into the robot, and then some funky white man, and then a little bit of booty shaking. Julio Jones, and then the running man on the way back.
I would just have thumbs, and that's it. That's all I got.
Oh no,
we have our fun. I still think I'd keep Chase here, but it's fine.
Oh wow, rejected.
Bateman or Dotson on the 112? Bateman costs a second round.
Hold on. Bateman or Dotson for the 112.
Oh, Dotson.
That's what I would do too, which is weird because he had an okay rookie season.
30 rights a game, man. He did pretty well. But
scored some touchdowns.
Bateman, please.
Yep.
I would take the 112.
I mean,
the 112 over both of them?
Over both of them? You suck. We don't like you no more.
I would rather have Bateman than the 112.
I think
I need to see you do the running man, or I don't like you anymore. That's how bad.
So here's the cool. The
I didn't have to speak with the belly last time I tried.
The cool thing about the situation in Baltimore is either they're going to get rid of Lamar Jackson and that offense is going to change, or they're going to keep Lamar Jackson and that offense is going to change because the offensive coordinator is not there anymore. It's going to be a different offense.
Yeah.
So Bateman has this real sneaky upside because Lamar Jackson is actually a really good passer, even though they haven't let him do that. What, you're shaking your head?
I have held
this isn't going to happen.
No, I have held the same line on Rashad Bateman going on to the length of the dynasty.
No,
grind.
you haven't.
Started out.
No, you haven't.
With a rant about how this was going to happen.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I just got sent a link with all of the SFB 13 logos.
I need to slim down. I need to slim down enough so I can put on a white shirt that has the Krispy Kreme logo.
I will never feel good enough about myself to wear a white T-shirt. I will tell you that now. I sit in an air-conditioned house and I start sweating.
Shavini.
I'm going to go so broke this year. My wife is going to be
way too much to give up for Jefferson. Yes, we agree. Dustin, 10 teams who flex PPR. Start 10. Mahomes, Herbert, Trevor Lawrence. That's the team. Death grip on the league. Scale 1 to 10. Okay. How good is this team is the question. I think it's okay. Mahomes and Herbert rocks, and your QB situation rocks in a super flex. That's the most important thing. You've got AJ Brown, which is definitely awesome.
Also has Bijan.
It also has Bijan.
Yeah. It's not 10. All right. I've seen better death.
I will say it is not a 10,
but it's above average.
Like a solid 8.
It's a solid. Yeah. See if you could take
7, 8.
I would like DJ Moore, Pickens, and the 106 to see how close that gets me to any of the top 3 receivers.
Chase Jefferson, yeah.
Chase Jefferson, and he has AJB. Never mind. Or a little less to go get Higgins or Waddle or
Wilson,
Lamb. Oh yeah,
Kelsey. Right. He needs Kelsey.
Oh yeah, you need a. Or if you just want it to be he has Pitts, pretty fast.
Yeah, Pitts is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying get rid of Pitts, but if
I'm saying go get Pitts if you want the prettiness, but if you want the points, you go get Kelsey. I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't recognize that.
I know. That's why I love doing it every once in a while, just to throw you off.
Zuli
the witch. What's up, boys? What's good? What's boys with you all good, man? I think I said that somewhat right. Not much, man. I'm not doing too good, but thank you, Zuli. I'm joking. Happy to see you. Manuel, should I trade Elijah Moore? Yes. And my 302 pick for the 103.
Wait, what?
Yes.
It's
Elijah Moore.
That doesn't seem like anything that would happen unless you're trading with Peter.
103.
Wait, what? Did you type did you accident did it autocorrect from
no,
Garrett Wilson or
it can't be the 103 because
if you can get that done, then yes, but I don't see a world where someone's going to take Elijah Moore in the 302 for the
Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore, the 302 is worth the 210.
Yeah.
That's
I don't understand that one, but yes, if you can. Zulu Witch, who are some of each of your
Jamal Williams
currently in the
Jamal Williams.
Not necessarily the best fantasy assets, but just the guys you like to root for. Yeah, Jamal Williams.
Love Jamal Williams.
I like rooting for Zach Pascal and Kedrick Bourne.
Ridley, yeah.
Calvin Ridley's a good one.
Who else? Keenan Allen. I mean, most of mine are going to be wide receivers. Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson.
Lamar, baby. I love Lamar Jackson. Like, I will unabashedly cheer for Lamar Jackson. I want him to get paid also, but, like, watching him play, like, I love it. It's funny to me as a Patriots fan to watch Bill Belichick not have an answer for somebody. He's never had an answer for Lamar Jackson. And the frustrating thing as a Patriots fan is Lamar Jackson was on the board when Belichick took Sony Michel.
Yep.
Peter, I know you were there. We were doing a live show, and I was apoplectic when they did not take Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
And I liked Sony Michel, but
they didn't.
Lamar Jackson.
Paul, Eckler for the 106. It's actually probably a pretty good value for him right now. I think
super flex.
If this is a super flex, maybe.
Yes.
But if it's not,
what Russ said.
Eckler.
Super flex. It's the pick, and one QB. It's Eckler, and it's You're hoping Eckler stays in.
I think so.
San Diego in L.A. I almost said San Diego.
You did say San Diego. I
said Sandy.
Okay,
in Sandy,
the
California.
Sandy City, the Sandy City of I got you. And X Brian. Okay. In a 1QB 10-team league, would you be trying to move the 202 or stick tight and make the pick? If looking to trade the pick, are there any specific players you target? I mean, the 202 is a fine pick. There's going to be a pretty good player there, but I don't know. These kind of questions are so. Would you go get something like all those explore trades? I know I'm trading early seconds for Bateman if I can. That's a player I've started to shop for in that value, but you don't necessarily have to give the 202 to do that. I gave 24 first and balanced it with a second.
But I don't mind giving the 202 for Bateman, especially in a one quarterback. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Let me move down here and see what we're.
I'm writing up a players to target series for YouTube based on ADP versus ranks, and we go by position, but there isn't like one outside of Bateman that I'm personally trying to get for. Aaron Jones was one of the running back position that might be in that value range.
What
tight end about to write up.
Is Juju in that range?
I think so, maybe. Yeah, I'd be interested in.
I'd be very happy.
I got rejected in all my leagues, but yeah.
Juju, I'm a little sad that it's not Mac Jones, but I'm still just psyched for Juju on the Pats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it may be Mac Jones. Like, we don't know. It sounds like he and Belichick have kind of reached a point where Belichick's like, kid, stop. Because I
literally didn't even know that was going on. So
yeah. He was very demonstrative last year with and I know that they didn't really have an offensive coordinator, but as a second year player without that cachet yet, it's not a great thing to be doing.
What was he doing? I honestly don't.
Like he would be like exceptionally frustrated with the play calling. He'd be exceptionally frustrated with when they got the play call in, and was really demonstrative. And I would tell my 7-year-old he's slatting around, and he did that an awful lot. But
okie dokie. Well, I mean, players have found themselves in the junk drawer for having a bad alarm clock. So, True. Facts.
I'm reading this question.
Which one? I seem to have missed it.
The one that you're on.
The one that you're on.
In a 1QB.
No, the one that you were on. That one.
That's not a question.
Okay.
Yes.
F.
Mary Kill.
Oh, okay. I see it.
I think 2 of them go to Travis, and then you just kill me and Zach and call it a day.
Just off myself at the start, I guess. But let's see. I'm gonna marry Russ. Feels like I can really manipulate him, get my way constantly.
So easily.
And I guess I'm fucking Zach. Me and Travis, I love the man, but we would not get on in any of the other 2 capacities. Like, just no.
He's too good
Zach,
looking.
Zach feels like he'd be a fun one-night stand. Travis, like, he's a long-term commitment guy, and I'm already committed to Russ over here because I can push him around a lot. So, I mean, Travis has got to go, What if I'm trying to buy Kamara on a team with good QBs? What you have doesn't change much, but if you're trying to...
Oh, okay. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, you can wait till in season and trade for him then. Is the thing. Like, running backs, in that, trying to build your team to win at the running back position is very much I need it right now, and you don't need it until at least you're starting rosters every week.
Right.
So no.
And honestly, the best way to attack that, to me, Genji, is to stack up players on your bench that have potential to have weeks during the season that you can play. So that's how I attack running backs. Is I don't necessarily want to go pay the Kamara name price, because you can go get players that will have some run over the course of the season, and you can get Kamara in the aggregate paying less than what you would to go get Kamara.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Zuli the Witch, let's say you had Josh Jacobs on a rebuilding team. What are some 1-for-1 targets you consider? Bateman and Juju. Josh Jacobs' value is too low.
I think it's higher than
Zach
that,
was recommending him.
But yeah,
right,
I don't know.
I just
do you get a first for him?
Oh God, yes. I just pulled up I had it open, the DLF trade analyzer. I have it set to Superflex tight end premium because that's how I roll. Right next to Josh Jacobs is Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Do that.
Really hot pick.
I would love that. But around him, listen, okay. On a rebuilding team, all right, I'll keep that in mind. Drake London is a bit of a stretch on this one, but Drake London and DK Metcalf. Devonta Smith is within a third's range of Josh Jacobs. Smith and Jigba, Kittle, Hawkinson. You're going a little further down before you get anybody worthwhile. Michael Pittman, if you want that. Otherwise,
I'm a fan of the trade finder, what's actually happening. And one of the most recent trades for Josh Jacobs is like a 24 first and the 206. I don't know the trades are matching up to what the calculator says. Well,
doesn't know.
Josh Jacobs for Jordan Love and Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was particularly bad, but it's not the same. Josh Jacobs for Michael Pittman.
You shat right on it. That's
solid.
what you did. And you're still continuing to do it as you read these trades.
Josh Jacobs for DJ Moore.
I know Zuli said 1-for-1, but what about something like Jerry Jeudy plus a pick? Yeah.
That's where I was going next.
Jerry
the
Judy's
next player I was going to read was Treylon Burks. I'm like,
yeah,
I mean, Burks in a strong second, and I probably feel good about that.
Yep. I think that's the way to go. 1 QB, 10 team. Would you be trying to trade the two? We went through this, right? Yeah. Are you guys gamers? If so, what are your favorite games? I don't think I can describe myself with that. I played Fortnite pretty irregularly still because I'm old and stupid. And that's about it.
No, you want to hear what old is? I can't play video games anymore because the graphics got so good they give me motion sickness.
Nice. I wish I was that.
I ran a fucking GameStop. Like, I used to play games and I can't anymore.
I'm not a gamer.
Mario Kart with my kids. Does that no? Okay.
Batman the animated series.
I mean, back in the day. No, not really. But I got Perfect Dark and GoldenEye with my friends, kind of a thing. Halo.
Oh, yeah. See, I played Halo and GoldenEye, even back then, the first-person games always made me kind of want to vomit, but I still played them anyway.
So, I still have my Nintendo 64
Same.
and GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. So my boys are 9 and 7, and so I'll throw on paintball mode and play GoldenEye.
Forgot about that.
And they're like, "It's us against you, Dad." The very first time, I was like, "Yeah, okay."
Yes,
and then after
is.
that, they were like, "Dad, that's not fair." I was like, "You can have Mom if you want. I don't."
I got 30 years of experience.
My son played also, and I'm talking. He was like 3 or 4, and like I'm giving my kid a controller the second he can hold it, and at like 4 or 5, he was just like, "Daddy, you want to play Mario Kart?" And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Bet you I'll beat you." I'm like, "Okay."
Is that a challenge, son?
It was not even. I'm just like, "Okay." You can eat those words. What does that mean? Don't worry about it.
I will say I have no shot at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. Like I have my son, both of them will just crush me on that. But
Nolan's not there yet. Like I could still get him in Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, and that's all that really matters to me.
All right. John says nice things also.
Oh, hey, John.
You guys got to quit this. But he says he likes us together. The show gives him the warm and fuzzies, which I feel like
John
is a
likes
sexual
us,
reference, and I appreciate it, John.
It's been fun.
No, big fan of John. Let's see. Puff Pass Kiss. Sup. That word. That's a bad word where I come from.
Oh, wow. You know that word.
I do. Bajon, the 101 worth 3 firsts.
Depending which they are, yes.
Yes. He's in that max tier of asset, like 3 first, 3 generic firsts is the max you should say any player's worth, and he's there. I feel like that is the word on
I
the
just
street.
wanted to hear Peter's.
Nope, that's
and
great.
he was on it already, knowing not to say it.
This would be 14 team. I actually don't think it counts as a swear here, but whatever.
No, it's like bangers. Bangers are
flex.
not sausages here either, Peter.
Right. I just wanted to hear Peter say that word. You guys on that word. Nice.
It would have been great if, like, that last one he accidentally said it. It's like,
damn, I got so close. No. But yeah, he's worth 3 firsts. Madden's Pass, the 106, 24 third, or Swift and Hollywood in a 12-team Superflex. 106.
I'll take Swift.
That's
and
probably
Hollywood.
Swift and Hollywood, yeah. As much as I like Addison, Gibbs, JSN, whoever you get there, like I still think it's Swift and
Swift
Hollywood.
plus Hollywood is probably better than Gibbs by himself, I guess. Yeah, I like Hollywood.
I have enough faith that Swift will be a high-end RB2 with weekly upside that Hollywood's just really good. Like, I get that he's not going to have Kyler for a while, but he's really
Redraft
good.
is not a big fan of Swift, by the way. That's not a positive look.
A lot of people are not a fan of Swift. A hard draft where he said they're in the 80s of a super flex draft, and Swift is still there.
It's so wild to me that after 4 or 5 years of everybody hating on Montgomery, that now that Montgomery is in Detroit, everyone's like, "Oh no, not like David Montgomery." And I like David Montgomery, but
what's funny, it's the other side of it that is people still are waiting for Swift to be a workhorse. It's just like, have you not learned?
Right.
Yeah.
And to be fair, that's what
on you, not on anyone else. Like,
but we're at a point now where his acquisition cost has come down enough, so you can get him as like a back end RB1, high end RB2, and then you're like, but he has RB1 weeks because he can house one anytime. I got him at the
411.
And I felt doing that for great about it.
Too. Yeah,
because that's what to me, that's what his cost always should have been.
Yep.
Well, not always. In the very beginning, we had the hopes of 3 down back, but once we saw what he was after his rookie year, I'm like, all right, crap. He's going to be the RB2 or 3 because there's no one else to be it, and he's not going to fall the way he should. And that's what happened. And it was obnoxious. He should have been a 4th round startup pick much, much sooner than this. And I'm so happy he's there now.
Thoughts on Baker Mayfield's future? I feel like we've run out of questions. We're at that point in the season. We're like, I don't know. What do you think of Baker Mayfield?
I hope he makes more commercials.
But, yeah, he's a really good commercial actor. That's always pretty fun. I mean, Geno Smith and Daniel Jones did something. I'm not hopeful.
Do you think they'll do a commercial where he like moves into the pirate ship at Raymond James?
Maybe.
That would be so good. That would be so good. So good.
Benjamin Siegel, 12-team Superflex PPR, 2-point PPR for tight ends. Burrow or Dak, Hawkinson and the 24-second. Burrow for Dak, Hawkinson and the 24-second.
See,
I think Dak and Hawkinson's
Hawk.
overvalued, but Dak and Hawk is, I'd rather that than Burrow by himself.
See, it's funny. Like, this is the kind of stuff we were saying on the show where it's just like, this is one you'd feel a little like Dak is good. Dak is very good. Burrow is great.
Yeah.
And while losing Hawk in a 2 PPR tight end, that's a lot. But it's Joe freaking Burrow. Like, yeah, you have to. It should hurt a little bit to go get Joe Burrow, and that's a hurt I'm willing to take. Like, I would easily do that.
All right. And when he's wrong, just come back and own him for me. It's fine. Sonny Michel led the Patriots to a Super Bowl. Yes. Well, lead, but sure.
Like, was he the first one out of the tunnel that night?
He was the one in front. Baker Mayfield will be in the XFL soon. Actually, that's probably the best prediction I've heard all night. And no. Dame overboard. Nice. Is a 107 and a 24 first enough to trade Watson away? Oh, that's interesting. They're likely a good team next year, so I'd expect whatever. I don't really do the expect it to be thing.
Was it Deshaun or Christian?
I'm going to guess Deshaun.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's way too much for Christian Watson, so I have to assume it's Deshaun. If it's Deshaun, I don't think it's enough.
Yeah.
And I
Christian
hate
Watson
saying that out loud, but yeah.
I mean,
you can use full names. You don't have a character limit. Just come on, man.
In the grand scheme,
come on, Dame, get it together.
Like in the dynasty mind, maybe Christian Watson Peter is worth a lot, but I don't.
Still not that much.
He's worth a lot, but the 107 he didn't say if it was a super flex or not, which is also
even if it's not. I'd rather have the 107 than Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a 24 first,
107 over Christian Watson.
2 first over Christian Watson. Yeah.
No, wait. Did you? I'm literally want to make sure I heard you. Did you say in a 1 QB you'd take the 107 over Christian Watson?
Yes. I'd actually have to think about that, but I think I would.
Think that's a little too far. Addison's gone by then.
It's not that far.
Quentin Johnston, Zach Charbonnet. So you're at like the A-chain-ish level?
Yeah. Joshua says, let's go. See the way I censored that one too. I'm on fire with censorship tonight. Sent out 3 trade combo, 3-team trade combo. Oh god, this is going to be complicated.
I love it.
He got the 102. He gave the 106 and 111. Team 2 gets the 101 and gives the 102 and the 105 and the 112. Team 3 gets the 101, gave the 101, and got the 105, the 106, the 111, the 112. My thoughts are it's way too complicated.
No. Okay, so the 106 and the 111 for the 102. Okay, first of all, I'm going to assume Superflex because that is the way I think. The 106 and the 111 doesn't get me there. The 102, 105, and 112 is way too much for the 101. And I don't want the 105, 106, 111, and 112 for the one. I don't like any of this. Like, the only person who should do this is Team 2.
Gave the 101 and got the 102, 105, and 112?
I would be thrilled to move back one spot and get the 105 and 112 on top of it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't want either of the. I don't want to give away those parts to get the rest of it.
I'm waiting to see if Zach's got something because honestly, I can't.
I'm still trying to So I think the team me that got the 102 and gave up the 106 and 111
I think that's a pretty good side.
is the winner.
That's great for him.
Yeah. And then everything else is like, okay, what are we doing? I don't want to give up the 101 for, yeah. I mean, like,
Team 3 did get Bijan Robinson. He traded up. He paid those extra picks and got the guy we think we should trade for.
There's so much of this that shouldn't work. If it works, congrats to a few of you, but like I am not a fan of a lot of that.
Russ hates you. Just know that, Joshua.
This is very personal. Yes.
Madden 91, anyone? No. Go back to bed.
Because it wasn't Madden 91. It was just
Madden football right there, Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What's Eckler's value if he if the Chargers draft Bijan Robinson?
Less than the 106.
Much lower.
Yes. Pittman. I agree, Daniel. Thank you. Zion became a member. We don't know what that means, but we do appreciate it because it sounds like you're trying to support us, and I appreciate that. Daniel Lindsay, 12 T2 flex Pittman and a 24 first, or the 104 and Gainwell. Gainwell's nothing, so it's a 104.
He's not nothing.
Pittman.
You bite your tongue.
No, I'll say it again.
Fair enough.
Gainwell is nothing. And the 104 for Pittman and the 24 first. I think I like the Superflex. 104 is pretty good. I don't mind it. I actually don't mind this. I think that 24 could be you're saying it's going to be late, but you never know.
I would give up Pittman at a 24 first to go up and get one of those quarterbacks.
To get a quarterback, yeah. I think.
I still really like Pittman too.
If you accept that it's a late first, this is probably the pick side. Yeah.
Like if it's because like I'm sure Daniel is saying it's his 24 first, so it's gonna be late because maybe he won this year and he's going and getting one of those. But why do you need one of those QBs if you just won? Maybe you lost Brady, in which case maybe your team isn't as strong as it was. I'm thinking too much into this. Like you could,
that's going. I mean,
a little too far.
Big brain there. Yeah. Zach?
I would take the quarterback.
Oh no, you just and I thought you'd.
Oh no, I was gonna say that the real thing that's getting buried in this is Gainwell. Like nobody even mentioned Gainwell, who actually could be interesting.
I literally did.
Oh,
he said Gainwell isn't anything. I'm like, you bite your tongue. Yes, he is. Okay. And then he said he wouldn't bite his tongue.
It's true. I'm the one who. Yeah. Okay.
Look, I don't think Gainwell's going to be a top 10 running back or anything, but he should be insanely useful. Like
he's going to have weeks where he does things.
Because all respect in the world to Rashad Penny, he's never stayed healthy for more than like 4 games a season.
Hey,
okay, you can
Brett,
bite your tongue on that one. I am not stopping on Rashad Penny.
Staying with first round draft capital, bro. Staying with Swift. Curious on thoughts on this 12 team to flex trade, I guess. 24 second, 25 first, and second for Swift, the 103 and a 25 third. Okay, I'm just going to ignore the thirds to make this simple. A second and a first in 24 and 25 for Swift. Yeah, Swift.
Yeah, Swift, easily. Not only... Okay, so it means very, very little, but I've heard a couple of Debbie people say the 25 class is not on the level of what we've gotten this year and next year to believe, so it's going to be down a little bit.
Going to have some running backs.
But it's also 2 years from now. You go, you get Swift now, you win, and then you trade for someone else's 25 first. That's going to be earlier than yours. Yeah. I got yelled at for that, by the way. Like, I don't really get yelled at for things, but like, on one of the DLF trade shows in the comments, someone's like, you can't, like, you say you'll just trade your 24 first and get someone else's later. That's not how it works. And I literally replied, like, I've been doing this for a little while. It's how it works. It's how it works for me. I'm sorry. And then they continue to yell, and I just said thanks for watching because. But like, seriously, like, no, that's absolutely how that works. You pay for it because you should, but if my team's good, I don't want my firsts. I want someone else's.
That's the high T attitude we've come to expect from you. Man's Path. What's the highest pick you would trade for Tyler Algier in a 12-team Superflex league.
I think
would
this
not.
is phrased
It's low
wrong.
enough that it would
101.
never happen.
I think this is phrased wrong because I would trade Algier for the 101. That's the highest pick I would trade him for.
I would any.
But I think
yeah.
I think the point of the question is like,
what would you give?
Yeah,
Pay for Algier.
Yeah.
Goddamn English majors.
207, 2012. Is that a pick?
I think probably
it's low enough it would never happen.
It's a mid-second.
I want to trade him away.
It's also like one of those things. Like if I'm on the Bulls, like I wouldn't do it now. Like
no, I mean, yeah.
Because first of all, chances are at the 205, you're gonna be drafting the running back the Falcons take. Like,
I would give you Algier for any second round pick. Put it that way. So like the 301's probably the earliest I would pay, and even then I'll be like, let me see who's on the board because there might be someone I like. I'm a big hater on the day. BJ Lee, thoughts on this team and what I should do? That's a big question. 1 QB, 12 teams, start 9. Herbert, Herbert, Eckler, Monty, Elijah Mitchell, Higgins, Gabe, Slayton, Burke. No, he's right. You got to blow this thing up. You've got Judy and Kelsey.
I was joking, but you
Eckler and Monty. No, you're gonna. Yeah. I mean, try and build around Herbert, I guess, but in a 1 QB, even that's rough.
Yeah, honestly,
trade
Kelsey,
everything for whatever you
Eckler, can get. 1 QB, so like bundle those picks together to either get up to because you're not getting up to the 2.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to get up to the 3. Is your
I think it's enough of a build that you try and get out of this year's class. I'd be tempted to trade into honestly, 24 and 25.
Keep Herbert, trade it hurts me to say, but you probably got to trade Higgins here too. If you have a Gabe Davis person in your league, you'll be able to get more than you should. There's got to be someone biting on Judy with Peyton being there. Like you honestly do need to move everyone, but you won't get unless you get.
And the reason I say that, by the way, BJ, is people will be more willing, especially from now till the draft, they're more willing to give you 24 first and 25 first because we're building into rookie season. It's the worst time to try and, hey, give me the 103. Like that's if you want to go pay to get it, and you don't. You're trying to sell for value, so you're not looking to pay for certain players. And so, like Judy should probably bring a late first in most leagues, but it will bring a 24 first.
Yeah, you could do like Judy and the 105 for the 102, something like that. Yeah. I would try for that.
Yeah, okay.
But otherwise, a fun what I would love to do would be like you take the 105, trade back to like the 109 and get a 24 first, and then you package the 8 and 9 to go get something you like better. Like just get a first for no reason and still be able to use 2 picks to do something, or hold on them until it's draft time and hopefully something is there that entices people. Like you have a lot of moves to make with this. In a 12-team league, this is
honestly rough. One of the first things I do is Judy for a 24 first or something like that, and then I go look at who the best teams in my league were. Honestly, try and sell them Kelsey. Those are the teams that are going to be willing to pay Kelsey price. Like, hey, this guy slots it in for you because that's real. That's very real. And they're the only teams they're the most likely to pay it,
And watch the news, watch what happens with Dalvin Cook, and pounce when Alexander Madison has value because he will.
Yeah, keep Madison. Yeah, that's a good point. There are some players you're just holding for right now. But I believe that's meant to be with you. You're going to wait till in season. Don't trade them now. Madison, same thing. You're going to wait for that window, but then you're going to be trading them.
Hold up. How
about Eckler? Is he now or later?
Did Peter? Did you just correct somebody's spelling?
No. It could be another player.
It's official. Peter is actually smoking marijuana. That's the only answer for that. He was twice able to avoid cursing while reading through things quickly. Now he's correcting spelling. He is actually smoking the wacky weefer.
I'm glad you all enjoy how much they hate you know. But personally, it gets a little too much sometimes. It's hard to deal with, you know. But anyway, back to the show. Yeah, is Eckler sell now or sell later? He's got a draft concern a little bit, but I don't think so. I think he's wait till he's scoring points again, but I'm open to ideas.
I'll answer your question with your answer. Depends on the deal.
Okay.
If you can get decent value for him, I ship him now. Even if it's not top dollar, the truth is he's still a 27-year-old running back.
106, 107.
In a Superflex league, if you can get the 106,
this is a one quarterback. But
well, I was just saying, like, he asked what you give. Like, if I could, okay, in a one quarterback, if I can get the 6 is too far, but no, I can get like the 5 or 6. I guess I would take it.
I think if you get the 6 and then you have the 105, 106, 108, now you can actually make some hay trading those picks, and you'd be happier doing that than you would with Eckler, because all of a sudden, like Eckler, you're trading to a very specific type of team. You're trading to a competing team that is looking to score points with the running back. Whereas if you have the 106 and you can pair that with other picks, there's that fungibility of the picks. It can be anything, and you can trade with anybody because everybody wants picks.
Their favorite sleeper's going to fall to your pick, and
absolutely,
hopefully you cash out. Blake, do you guys think Dameon Pierce is a sell?
Yep.
Yes.
If he can right now. That he's like I think isn't he valued like a second though? I think at that value just keep him, but if you can get a first, yes.
But he's the type of he's the type of player that I would want to pair with like something to level up. And as far as the James Robinson thing, like James Robinson tore his Achilles. Like
I think James Robinson was better was the other thing I was going to say. I don't think there was even as much positive stuff about Dameon Pierce. So yeah. JB, 12-team Superflex win now team was offered Kyler for Rodgers and Cup. If you're a win now team, you don't want Kyler. But if you're trading Kyler away, maybe
he was
offered Kyler. He's getting Kyler. He said because it's tough to give up
win now team.
Okay, so what you got to do is know the people in your league. Kyler could be a very difficult player to move, which I'm finding in a couple of leagues, unlike when I was able to sell to Peter pretty easily, which was wonderful for both of us. But if you have a league where Kyler is liquid, I would do this because the value is there and you can get younger, prettier things. The points of Cup might hurt a little bit, but you'll get someone that'll last you a little longer.
I think, yes, I would do this, but I want to set you're not trading to win, and Kyler won't go up in value in a couple months. I know he'll get healthy by then, but we're planning he might play games towards the end of the season. It's going to be a haul. It's going to be a wait, just so you know that. And then, yeah, that's the trade I do, but it's not like in a few months I'll be able to do something with him kind of a deal. That's more Lamar Jackson. Neil Mitchell, Russell Wilson for the 110 and a 12-team Superflex. Russell Wilson. I think Wilson. Yeah. Pretty confident.
Yeah, I'll take Wilson.
Draft 1, trade 1, marry 1. Why is it all marry? Anyway, Higgins, Waddle, JSN.
Don't you dare!
I don't know any of these players personally. I think this is a Russ question. We're just going to leave it.
We're going to move to Utah.
Oh,
rank them, Russ. Do it.
I won't.
He will. He's physically unable to do that. Sorry, Ridley Truther.
He did that on purpose. He knows.
Honestly, I think you draft JSN. I think you trade Waddle because he's got the most value, and then Higgins. I'm sorry, but
you gonna marry that one? All right.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you get? Sorry, I'm in true off-season form with my questions. You're good, man. I meant Deshaun Watson. Okay, so Deshaun Watson for the 107 and the 24 first in Superflex. with changing it to the 102 instead of the one. Yes,
was
the
the
102 makes a
107
big
good.
difference.
Right, because the 102
Yeah.
is a quarterback.
It
See,
changes me from not doing it to doing it. Yeah.
But for the 102 and a 24, like I would if it was the 102 and the 107, I would probably do it without thinking about it. 102 to 24 first. Like, I get it. I don't want Deshaun Watson on my teams. He's good. And they're going to put stuff around him. I don't know if I want to reset that and just have a 24 first in between.
That's fair.
Like, would I do it if I took over an open team that had Watson and someone offered me the 102 and a 24 first? Yeah, I'd accept it right away. But like, advice for other people is different. Like, I would say the 102 and the 107 and see how that goes, because it doesn't feel great, the 102 and the 24 first, but it's clearly better than the 107 and the 24 first.
And yeah, that's enough of a difference to make a difference, put it that way. Mike M, is Smith going to... Nope. Had the same answer every year.
They're also most likely drafting someone.
So those are two different questions, Mike. Is Irv Smith going to be relevant, and can he be a top 15 tight end?
Is not relevant.
Right. I mean, maybe, but he won't be relevant.
If he doesn't miss a game, he could be a top 15 tight end.
The bad thing for Irv Smith is there are 5 or 6 like really athletic profile tight ends in this class. Whether or not they're good, we don't know, but like the athletic profiles on them are fantastic.
They're 4 or 5, yeah.
Good. So,
but like Irv Smith was one of the few tight end prospects with like production, and he just he had a decent amount. Like up to that time, like he had. I liked Irv Smith, and it just he never happened, and it makes me sad. That's really what it comes down to.
Told you so, but whatever. 12-team Superflex PPR tight end
you can't told you so on tight ends. You just say no, they're going to be bad.
Nobody effing knows,
and you're going to be right 99%.
Maybe you can, but maybe not. 12-team. Sorry, my back's killing me. 12-team Superflex PPR tight end premium start 11. He's got Watson, Fields, Najee, Saquon. Okay, pretty good. Zeke, Algier, meh. Chase and Higgins, Pickens, meh. Watson, meh. And Pitts. Moves to make. Yeah, I'd try and package Pickens, Watson with something to try and move up somewhere. Same with Zeke and Algier. Those are the guys you've got to move. But your team's already pretty competitive. There's not too much you have to do.
I would be trying to. Well, it's a start 11, so I don't. You don't want to consolidate too much.
Thinking about that.
You need.
I think you can do it. At least one move to get
what you got. Like, I don't want to say these words out loud. Well, you know what? Send Pitts for Kelsey plus. Send Watson for. Man, like I want to go say like Cousins plus. Like you can, like it's kind of what you need to do right now. Like you have some studs that are studs, but you also just like Najee, like.
I know it's not 11, but don't overrate depth. I mean, you're not going to score 0 where you don't have a stud. You're going to get league average. It's fine.
Yeah, but
I think there's some consolidation you can do, but like I said, there's not too much. It depends what your picks are. I'd try and move up a little bit. Maybe like add something to Pickens to try and go get one of those top 3 guys that we really like.
To me, it's Pickens and Christian Watson are the 2 players there that I think are overvalued by the community that you could get something that I would rather have.
Yeah, if you can get good value for them, but if not, like those are the kinds of players I love having as my 10th and 11th player. Like that's why I love having Gabe Davis on my team, because he's not going to lose you a week as your 10th player, but he might catch 4 touchdowns that game. Like And that to me is like what Watson is and what Pickens like we think he is. But if you can get top 20 wide receiver prices for both of them, which I think they both might fall in at this point, then I would trade them away. Or fine, let me say it. Keep Chase, trade Higgins. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with having 2 wide receivers on the same offense when it's an offense like the Bengals. But again, like, I do think you don't need anything now. That's like, I'm so stuck on this start 11 thing because it's more than I'm used to. But like, I still think you got moves to make before this is like you feel like a strong competitor, even though you have some studs. I'll stop now.
Okay. Zulu the Witch, this show brings a lot of happiness. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. We'll really appreciate what you guys do, the knowledge, the passion, and the unique, personal, energetic stuff. Sorry, I realized I hadn't had energy for a minute, so I thought I'd add that. You each contribute to the Dynasty Grind. Vibes are impeccable. Appreciate that. They do a good job, don't they? And then there's me.
It's the
Dynasty.
chat, and the chat brings the happiness. We're just here reflecting. We're the mirror.
It's really just Peter's hair.
I think you're going to say mine.
It's actually getting annoying. Like I was trying to work outside today, and it kept hitting me in the face. I was like, "This is new. I do not like this."
Oh my god! Now I'm picturing Peter with a sweatband.
Because I was wearing a hat to keep it all back, but now it's hot, and you can't wear the damn hat. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't know why people.
Visor time, Peter. It's visor time.
I just got the
upside down, tilted to the side.
The Fabio with the fan. You know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I look like.
Yeah.
14
horse in the background.
Several, not mine, but in the next yard over kind of a thing. 14 team startup. Want to trade the 101? Why? Go with the 102 has Kyler, Kenny. Go with the 103 has Herbert, Jacoby, and the 106 guy has all these picks. Love and 24 first. He's given us idea of things they might have that he could go and trade for. I mean,
what's the next part of the question?
Like,
what are they? It's the startup. You don't need anything.
Fair. It's a startup, man. I mean, you trade back for as much as you can get. Have this as a startup and they have all these players?
Well, they're probably mid-startup and they drafted the picks already. Good for that guy who has all of those 23 firsts and 524 firsts. That's going to be fun.
Right.
But yeah, like, not just finish the startup before you worry. And then, finish the startup and worry and wait 4 months before you start worrying.
I mean, we can give you generic values, but I don't see anything that jumps off the page here. Whereas, I really want Kyler in a startup when I have no flaws on my team and don't have to worry about nothing, hopefully. But yeah, 3 first-round picks as a generic value, I guess. Kyler is Herbert's the best thing on the list.
Is he asking? Oh no, the guy X has Love. Don't trade for Love. No.
Definitely don't.
No.
No,
that should be on a T-shirt. Don't trade for Love.
It looks like it's a super flex. So ultimately, my goal is to get the best quarterback I can if I'm trading the 101, and hopefully with a plus. You're not going to get Mahomes or Josh Allen, but Herbert's the next on your list here, and I try and get Herbert. Would you trade Herbert straight up? Seems fine.
I would send the 101 to get Herbert.
Yeah, I would not send Herbert for the 101 though.
That's not the question.
But he's got the pick and he's trying to what's the best trade?
Well, no, I understand that, but you've got to make it enticing for the person to trade.
Well, that's what I'm asking. You don't think that would be?
I would not trade Justin Herbert for the 101 in a 14-team super.
Okay, me neither. And you don't think it would tempt people? So that was out. You'd have to add to get Herbert, or you would probably get Kyler plus for the 101. I would think maybe.
You'd be closer that way because he's not probably starting.
He's gonna play for you.
I assume this is super flex. I mean, maybe it's not, but
it says it's QB needy, which should only.
If it's a one QB, then you really don't need QBs.
Right.
Yeah, if it's one QB, there's no such thing as QB needy. So I'm assuming super flex. But those are kind of where my thoughts are. I try and get Herbert plus, but like, best I can do. EJD. 12 team, 2 QB, start 10. QBs, Lamar, Dak, Gardner. Okay, Lamar and Dak. They could be starters. Hopes and dreams. What are they worth? When's the best time to trade? Hunley and Minshew, if they start.
Yeah.
Then you try trading them for whatever you can get. Other than that, this feels like the thought process everyone goes to when they set their trade bait. Like, what would someone give me? Nothing right now. Like, something's going to have to happen. Zulu the Witch, loved hearing about your favorite players. I would also nominate Jalen Hurts, a heart.
Yeah.
That man
Hurts is a great one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Through sheer heart and willpower, it's transcended.
And I legitimately hear he's a very good person.
That's why I like every undrafted free agent ever. There you go. Man's Pass, 24 first and a 24 third, or Daniel Jones, 12-team Superflex.
I would trade that for Daniel Jones. If I'm trading Daniel Jones away, I'd want a little more. It's like that. That probably means it's the right price, right? Like
Daniel Jones for a single first
more than you buy for, but that's probably right. Like I have a lot of Daniel Jones on my teams, and it's probably because I paid prices like that.
I think I prefer Daniel Jones in a super flex in the single first. The third doesn't weigh here much for me, so it's just a first, and that seems low. Terry McLaurin or Jahan Dotson?
Terry McLaurin.
McLaurin.
Yes, McLaurin. EJD, have the 102, the 108, and the 211. We'll probably draft Stroud. Don't plan it, seriously, because the draft and stuff. But actually, yeah, if you want Stroud, you're probably gonna have to spend 102. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're not gonna get him at the 108, so
probably not. It's only the way. Also, Diggs catches a lot of flack because people see him not as a team guy. Yeah, I hate those narratives too. Back to the community stepping in front.
There are so many videos of him like just playing catch with kids in the stands and like
that's cool.
Going and talking to like maybe when he was younger he may have been a little douchey or something why he has that mentality, but like he seems like a good dude.
There's also the video of them going around to all of the players on the Vikings and say, which player on the team would you least trust around your sister? And they're all like, Diggs.
Well, I mean, that's a good looking man. Like, that's not his fault. Oh, and I love the ESPN commercial he had where he's going out like in his bathrobe to like take his garbage cans and everyone says hi to him and his hands keep sticking to everything.
First trade on my new orphan. Give Garrett Wilson and got Deontay. And Deontay. So give Garrett Wilson and Deontay. Get AJ Brown and the 204.
I think it's AJ Brown.
Yeah. AJ Brown, please. Yes.
Yeah.
Scampers says
Scampers.
Cat. Appreciate that. Been trying to trade Higgins, but can't get anyone to bite. Same with Pitts.
Well, that's because he shouldn't be trying to trade
Higgins
or Shard Higgins, in which case it's because he's bad and not worth anything.
Higgins is weird. He's top 12 dynasty wide receiver, but no one seems like say value him that way. And Pitts is just not the time.
The very, very, very first article I wrote was about T. Higgins and why trading for him is always the right answer because he will never be considered top 12, even though he's there. Like he's literally ranked in the top 12, but if you start talking to people, they won't put him there because Jamar Chase is on his team.
Pitts needs to pay $200 to get one of them red zone targets, I hear. And the minute he does that, it might be best.
Yeah, like I firmly believe that offense will be not bad.
I traded for him at the end of the season, so I actually have a Kyle Pitts share now. He became weirdly cheap enough, but I don't think I'll get a trade on him anytime soon. I'm gonna wait until the season probably.
Yeah, you'll have to. I mean, you'll have to wait till he starts producing, and then you have to figure out if you want to trade him or not, because that's
maybe you won't.
That's the thing with Pitts is like the reason why he has been so valuable is because people expect him to be a top 3 scoring tight end for the next 10 years. And so
it's a good tight end rookie class. I'm just saying, maybe go that way too.
Yeah.
Higgins and Pitts are both good. Yeah, I think Holland is the way to do. Headband Peter for the win. That's an idea, but I do already get beat up a lot. So I don't know. I live in Kentucky.
I just call you Scampers from then.
The hair enough is enough to get. No, no one bothers me. Mr. Scampers, and good evening, gentlemen. To you too, Mr. Scampers. Nice to see you. Dynasty says, yes, it's Superflex.
Right, the 14-team startup.
Yes, yeah. We assumed. I traded Mike White for 224 first. Lateral move, but I like it. There's a baseline for Minshew last month.
Yep.
10-team Superflex PPR, 2 running, and that's format. Looking for tips on in general on this team. He's got Lamar Jackson in a Superflex. That's pretty good. Burrow, Tanny, Purdy. Anyone that you see on this team, Damian Pierce, like we were just saying, we're hella eager to trade away if we can get anything like a high second, late first, anything like that. I'll take it. I think Tannehill's just a hold for now. I think Madison's definitely a hold for now. CP, who's CP?
Cordero Patterson.
Oh, yeah. You'll never trade him even when he's scoring points.
Yeah, honestly,
Hunt's interesting, but he's just hope he scores points as well.
Ignoring players for a second, the 107 and those 2 seconds, you think that gets you up to the 105?
Probably not, but maybe.
I think that's a move, though. I think you've got to try and add 2 things together and improve your first round pick.
Not even looking at players yet. In a 10-team Superflex like the 107 just ain't it.
Right.
But you have a lot of really good players on your team.
Cook, is there a chance anyone's interested in James Cook and you can add him to the 107 and move up?
Is it James or Dalvin?
Ooh,
I assumed it was Dalvin because Madison was there.
Dalvin and Madison. Yeah,
but how about Damian on the 107? Could that move you into the top 5? That'd be awesome.
Well,
you have a lot of moves you can do, and a lot of it involves moving a lot of. I hate having to start 2 running backs. A lot of it to me I'm still going to say maybe hold on to James Conner because you won't get anything for him and he'll score points. But everyone else, start pairing players up with some of those picks and upgrading. You have a lot of very good players, but you also have what it takes to get better players.
And I think that you trade Cook and Madison as a pair.
Yeah. I don't like owning backfields. I was never.
But you're not most there are a lot of people where that will be.
But I was going to say
it would make it more.
That's the right idea. But the idea, I never liked the idea of
that. That's not how I play. I like to get other people's handcuffs because if their running backs get hurt, all of a sudden they're down a player and you're up a running back, and that's a win.
That to casuals or football people is the most frustrating thing in the world because they're no, if my running back hurts, I want the next guy up. That's what I want. And I'm no, you don't want to hope your guy gets hurt.
Right.
You spend most of the time hoping your guy doesn't.
You don't want to keep scoring, mid-level points if your star gets hurt because that just hurts your draft pick. Unless you see, everyone just needs to play with John Hogue. If you've got a John Hogue in your league, you can just always, give him the running back backfield and he's happy. The edge is small.
If there's anybody willing to bite on Clinton. I have no idea what's going on in San Francisco.
Somewhere,
just capitalizing. If Purdy gets the job, he's still not going to be a top 10 quarterback.
I saw someone galaxy braiding a league on Twitter the other day, and I thought that's actually not a bad idea. He said, if in your league someone has traded Trey Lance, try and sell that guy Brock Purdy because he's out on Lance. I was not a terrible idea. That might work. Anyway, those are some thoughts. Puff pass kick. We need a Twitter poll, a new hairstyle for Pete. No one cares, but thank you. Before Elon makes he's about to take polls away from us. And also our ability to see each other. So it'll just be the same, just the people you know talking to the people you know, which I've always said is the key to having a successful social media app. I
The problem is, if it started that way, we wouldn't know each other.
That's that. Yeah, it was sarcasm. Yeah, only people who know each other talking to each other. Basically, it's sending text messages to your friends. But
So, I was going to say
not the internet. Yeah,
we basically went back to 1986 as a social media app.
It's a group chat. Twitter is now a group chat.
We're passing notes in class.
That actually describes us fairly well.
Do you like T. Higgins? Check yes, no, or maybe.
You suck for not liking Bijan Robinson. I'm gonna beat you up after school because you don't like Zach Pascal. That's my notes.
I drafted Zach Pascal.
Yeah, to trade him to me. Mr. Scampers,
in case you're ever in that league.
Zig says he drives with 2 feet. I'm out. I've actually heard that's meant to be positive. Like good drivers, like driving school type stuff would say.
Okay,
I come from a land of manual clutches.
Shit out of me. Yeah. The only reason I would be for driving with 2 feet, like sometimes my knee just effing hurts, and I don't want to have to move my leg back and forth. Otherwise, I can't get the driving with 2 feet thing. It's weird. Like I would absolutely accidentally push both feet down at some point. And then I think the car just
from most cars are manual, so it actually makes a little bit more sense there. But yep. Gavin, second trade just went through. Nice. Give Higgins and Pollard, get Amon-Ra St. Brown on the 110. Higgins and AS, that's kind of the same thing. I probably rather the 110.
Push.
I probably rather the 110, but I get it. It's probably it's kind of a push.
I think I'd probably rather have Pollard than the 110.
Okay.
I mean, it's close, but
I'm
think
so
I would.
take locked on Pollard at this point that I don't know what to do with it.
It's kind of even, probably in the Higgins side.
What don't you like about Pollard?
I just don't believe
he is what we start declining values on running backs. Yet we want to boost him to the top.
Yeah, that running back who's been in the wings.
He's a 25-year-old running back who hasn't done anything the first 3 years.
But now he's got the chance.
He's now getting his second contract and coming off of a broken leg in the playoffs.
Right, but he's also playing for a coach that is like, we ran the 25th most, or the
and I get
7th most, and we didn't run enough.
I know he did fairly well last year. I get it.
I know I'm wrong, but
I don't think you're wrong. Like I think your process is sound. But I also think like the 110 is what? And if I can get a running back one season out of Pollard, and I'm taking that over the 110.
And that is again the absolute right answer. It comes down to what other people think the difference between Higgins and Pollard and Higgins and ARSB is.
And it also definitely depends on your team. Like if you're not going to be a top, like if you're looking at your team and you're like, I have to squint to get myself in the top 4 right now, then what are you doing with Pollard?
Yeah.
So
Pittman or Moore? DJ Moore, I assume.
I don't know. They're so next to each other no matter what they do. I think I'd take Pittman.
I think I would too. But
I think I'd add something to either one and get someone higher. But yes. I mean,
this is one of those where like you hate the 1-for-1 like that.
The same position trait.
Yeah,
someone's gonna lose.
I guess ranking them. I mean, they're close. Like they're like same tier.
Yeah. Gavin, rank them: Waller, Meyer, Ingram, and Njoku. I would go Waller, Ingram. Mike, is that the rookie there?
Yes, that's a rookie.
Oh,
I'd probably take him.
Yeah, put the rookie first, then Waller,
Ingram, Njoku.
Yeah. ADB is a lot higher on Ingram than you might think, by the way.
Oh, it's because he had a great season last year, but now you got Ridley taking all of the targets,
every single one of them, and they're all going for touchdowns.
Yep.
Jacobs or Charbonnet?
Jacobs.
Yeah. Do you think there's a point this offseason where JSN has more value than AJ Brown?
No, it's next offseason.
Well, AJ Brown will be 26 next year, so he's old.
Yeah. And I fully expect JSN to come in and
be good,
have a really good year, and having a second-year wide receiver coming off a really good year is a pretty good recipe for ADP.
I wrote my article about Olave, and I thought he did better than he did last year. Like, he had a very good year for a rookie, but he was the overall wide receiver 24. And now
I was looking at their ranks today. I was like, I thought one of them finished top 12. Oh no.
He was the third highest scoring rookie behind, I think it was Wilson and then Garrett Wilson and then Walker. So clearly, if it was Chris Wolave, he probably would have been better. But he was the wide receiver 24 total, 28 in points per game, and now he's the Dynasty.
What,
Peter,
8, 9?
That was funnier than it should have been for me.
And I really thought he had a better season last year. So if JSN comes in, puts up anywhere close to 1,000 yards, he's gold.
Yeah,
next year, which 1,000 yards isn't hard anymore, especially because he will get drafted early, which means he's going to get drafted to a not great team. So
I think a lot of 22 wide receivers are going to disappoint next year, and that kind of speaks to the point. But anyway, JSN for the win. 12-team Superflex PPR start 9. Fields, Watson, Hall, Gibson, Debo, pretty good team. Deontay Johnson, Ridley, Ayuk, all the discount wide receivers. And Andrews, nice. 101 and 103. Should he trade either for a wide receiver? I think in a Superflex, yeah. You're trying to get JSN, so it depends on your draft. If you think he's going to go at the 103, if you trade it, then you
don't take him at the 103 though. Like
if you can think he can trade back, trade back.
I'd trade back to the 105 and get something on top of it for that 103, and then if JSN goes ahead of me, you still got a quarterback, or you can trade back again because there's a quarterback on the board, and then all of a sudden you've amassed picks, and then
take Addison and call it a day. Like,
yeah,
in this situation, like, it's funny. I was in Trade Addicts. Someone asked the question. I have the 102 and the 104. I want JSN. I don't care which quarterback I get. Is it crazy to take JSN at the 2 and take whoever falls to me at 4?
No, that's fine.
No, my policy you want, if you won't let me move back, I will.
That's not the same as this. Like this, I can't. Like, I get taking your guy. I get it. I really, really do. And honestly, if you want him, you take him. Who cares? You got the player you want. But value-wise and pure dynasty strategy-wise, the real move is to either trade back or see who you can get for that 103.
My policy is literally I'll take JSN if that's who I want. I will not trade back. But it's different in Superflex with quarterback. It's just different. And until the world moves and the league recognize it, unfortunately, it's one situation where you're like, I've got to trade back, or I'm taking a quarterback and I'll trade for the 105 to get JSN for something else, with something else. It's quarterback in Superflex. It's different, unfortunately. Broken leg Pollard.
I mean,
that seems mean.
We have like modern medicine at this point. Like, you're talking.
Yeah, they won't make him run out there.
You're talking 3.
They won't re-break it. You don't have to start the season off the same
3 months, and then you can start going after it again. Like training and that sort of thing.
But like
broken legs.
I've done it. I've done it, Pete. Like, it's not that long.
It's not like it was his femur. Like, let's put it out there. Suck it up. Throw some dirt on it and walk out.
You know what? You know what's funny, Russ?
That time these NFL players stop being so weak.
Is that's going to be my open tomorrow for the Dynasty Dummies? To suck it up, throw some dirt on it. Like, we've done such a disservice to
men,
like a guy, like men, yeah, like the stuff, like you got to be tough and you got to. It's like, dude,
that's not being.
Yeah.
The T. Higgins poster in the background looks a bit biased towards half of those questions. It's entirely true, but me and Zach balance it out.
And I also admit it. I'm not hiding it.
Nick Martin, who's yo? No idea. Do you have any preferred vets to buy now as a contender? Well, like I said, Bateman and Juju. I don't know if they count as vets, but we're pretty interested. Jerry Jeudy was an interesting name we talked about.
Cooper Kupp, if they're not treating him like he is
Cooper
as valuable as he should be.
Michael Thomas can come for like a third in some leagues. George Kittle, great name.
Yeah.
If
you want to talk, like, I'll take Miles Sanders if we're talking like cheap running back infusions to your team. Keenan Allen is always the answer.
Oh, have you seen has neither here nor there to this question, but have you seen the big rumor today out of New England?
Debo Samuel.
That the Patriots are really leaning toward Bijan.
Frozen.
Oh, really? Am I frozen?
You look good.
I would think I was frozen for a second because Zach, and then you weren't moving. See, and you're all stuck again.
Aaron Jones and Debo Samuel hit my list as vets, to be fair. But Patriots are going to draft Bijan Robinson. Was that you breaking the news?
No, that was the big like rumor today is that they're looking to draft another running back, and that Bijan Robinson is in play at 14. Which you
said that like 3 weeks ago.
I did, and I was shot down heartily in the chat. And now it's like PFF and The Athletic and everybody. It's everywhere.
They're going to take Zach Charbonnet at the end of the first, you know.
Lance Zierlein even had a mock draft where they took him at 14. So,
locked in.
No.
Pollard or Charbonnet? I don't know why I like saying that. Pollard. Zach Charbonnet said, Mr. Scampers, is Jerry Jeudy a buy right now? For what? But yes, we think so. We think it is.
He's still young.
He looks like an interesting buy. Like he must have joined the league at 14 years old. You know?
He did.
I don't think wide receiver 22. I think it is because, like I say, when you look at the trades, I think he's going for around that Juju Bateman value, and that's significant upside at that value.
So the only way he's not a buy is if you think that Russell Wilson is completely done.
Yeah, I think last year was as bad as it gets, and I think it should be better. Sorry, I'm used to talking. I'm hushing. Hollywood or Christian Watson? Hollywood!
Yeah, Christian Watson's worth more, but I'd rather have Hollywood.
Yeah. Same position trades suck though. Tips.
Yeah.
Tried to buy the ship and kept falling short. That's always rough. 12-team PPR, 1 QB, Herbert, Eckler, J-Rob, Hunt, Cup, Adams, Amari. It's a pretty good team. Marcus Brown, Pittman, Gabe, Andrews. Solid team still though, and you still got picks. The 110, the 210, 309, but he sold all his 24 and 25.
Future.
This team's good enough. I think you should keep pushing.
Yeah,
you got to move up in this draft.
Like, if you want to see if you can age down, like maybe, like if you have a team somewhere that wants to make that push into competing, and if like they believe in Adams, and you can get like Drake London plus, like go get a young guy who like you believe in or we've seen produce plus something, then like that's probably the only sort of moves I would do. Like it's still a very strong team just to keep moving with.
You're going to be a contender next year.
I mean, the answer is the same as always. Try and trade up from the 110.
Having said that, I would actively shop Adams. He's still ranked in the top 12 in Dynasty, and whether they know it or not, people will become increasingly more skittish about trading at that value from here on, forever. So Adams is a maybe, but I don't tend to sell age. I tend to shop for points, but and try to move up in this draft. But yeah, I still think you're still a contender. Genji, Judy at wide receiver 21. I'd take Ayuk, but we're not talking about in a draft. You have the option. We're talking about who's easier or harder to trade for. I'd trade for Ayuk or Judy at similar value. Depends what the owners in leagues think. DJ Moore is going significantly higher than that in trades. That's why it looks a little insane. And I think you have to pay more for Burks as well. I'd have to check that, but I think Burks is higher. If you're actually looking to add him to rosters instead of draft him according to Keep Trade Cut. Keep Trade Cut's got some benefits, but it's awful. It's awful in some ways too, and that's one of them.
You know what's wild is that Judy is a year younger than Ayuk.
Yep.
Judy, really? I actually did not know that.
Ayuk played JUCO too, so yes.
Right.
But Judy is a year younger than Ayuk, which is just well. I mean, like that doesn't necessarily color opinion on it. I still prefer Judy to Ayuk. I know that's
wild. And just pee on it and prevent infection. I think there's jellyfish stings, but also it doesn't work.
Same thing. Broken leg, jellyfish stings, same thing.
Yeah.
Just pee on it. Peeing on things is normally the answer, let's face it.
Yeah.
Kevin, no tight end premium, 12-team Superflex. Give Goddard the 308. Get a 24 first and 24 second.
First over the tight end.
I would still take Goddard.
No, it's non-premium. It's no.
Like, I still think he's one of those players I would rather have.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Tight ends in the first? No.
Okay.
So I'd rather have the first than a tight end.
But you're not risking anything. You know Goddard's good. It's different.
You know Goddard's like the middle of good. He's not good. He's like, good. Like you want him to be good, but he's like,
no,
good.
He's good. I did no hand motions. My arms are crossed. They are folded because I am trying to portray stern and confidence. The answer is Goddard.
The reason why I got it and Muth is because they actually trade a little easier than like Hawkinson, for example. But first, and you get a second too. It's fine.
That's the right price. Whatever makes you happy.
Yep. Interesting how the Dynasty community doesn't seem to discount running backs and wide receivers with ACLs. Most never approach pre-injury numbers. There's been a lot done on this, and I feel like that's wrong. Players recover from ACLs pretty effectively at this point.
It's the 1 year. It's like 1 year after is the
the problem. Yeah, that's the real problem. Like you want it now, like the second they get on the field, but it's
right.
They can play, sure, but they're not back physically or mentally to 100% for a while.
Yeah.
Pretty difficult to deal with.
Favorite
rookie tight end, not named Maya.
The second best analytics profile of any wide receiver in this class, says Scott Barrett. Yes, I double checked. No, I'm not engagement farming. Speaking of his analytics profile,
I've been arguing on that thread all day.
He's a historically great prospect, worthy of a mid-round 1 pick.
Never heard of him.
And then Travis May says, "Yep, Marvin Mims has been verified as quote very, very good unquote since mid-high school. He's just one of those players that's been good for so long. People got bored and started dropping him down their ranks."
Never heard of him.
Bored. I feel like people didn't talk about him much. You mentioned him, obviously.
You've never heard of Travis May?
No.
It's weird because I just broke him down and did a video on him, and then I saw Scott's tweet. Get into it. Look for my comment. Like they're all agreeing with me. DJ Chark is almost a one-to-one.
Oh, I have no interest in scrolling.
But they want to say Tyler Lockett because they want to exaggerate what they expect to be the ceiling. But I mean, he looks really good at a certain thing.
But he's not. But he's not the type. He's not necessarily the type of player that I gravitate towards.
That's where
fantasy, because I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna drive the volume. I think he's really good.
Like the fun of this is they never said the word fantasy in any of that.
Right.
Yeah. No.
They're literally talking like. Don't forget who usually gets drafted first: John Ross, Henry Ruggs. Yeah. Like those are the kind of guys that usually get drafted first.
He did burn at the combine. He was a 4.38 guy, a 4.36 guy. He was fast.
Yeah.
Well, he was the one that I said that was gonna out Hyatt, Jalen Hyatt.
Like
that's literally and he did.
Definitely better than Hyatt.
Oh, great! Now Andrew's ears rang, and he's going to show up in the.
I miss Andrew tonight.
Ringing the dinner bell.
It just occurred to me that he wasn't even here. Wait, favorite rookie tight end not named Mayer?
Kincaid. Sam Laporta's interesting as well. I actually have him ranked higher because Kincaid didn't run a 40. I'm going to need the draft to believe in it, but I really like Kincaid.
Okay.
Darnell Washington, but
yeah, go on.
Big caveat is he's such a good blocker that it may never work.
Yeah.
But he is amazing when they throw him the ball.
The idea of
you said that on the Hootenanny, and I laughed, but I totally understand. It's like, that guy's so good at this, he's probably not going to do this. I'm like, yeah, I can see that.
You're going, looks, when he goes out for a pass, you're like, that's Gronkowski. And then he blocks, and you're like, that's a offensive tackle. That's a...
But, like, the problem is, like, I picture him, because he literally has the largest wingspan of any tight end ever.
Yeah.
Like, I picture a man running with his hands dragging on the floor behind him, like going and making like a cartoon, like his arms stretched.
He would be, but he's really tall as well, you see. So
a cornerback is like climbing up his arms to try and like that's literally what I picture when I think of Darnell Washington.
Well, that's like every time somebody talks about like trying to tackle him, I just drop the gif of the Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor, where he's like the giant and he's wrapping the giant's legs up, and eventually he falls down, and the entire like that's what it's like to try to tackle Darnell Washington.
No, if they put cornerbacks on him, they are going to have to climb him like a tree.
Yeah,
that's going to be.
You're going to have to double team him, but with one corner sitting on the other corner's shoulders.
Yeah, they're going to have to put the most athletic linebacker they can find, basically. But he's kind of Anthony Richardson. It's like I didn't see him catch the ball a lot in college. He didn't do it a lot, so I can't really.
Yeah, he only had like 23.
But
catches.
if he can do it, wow, the ceiling is, that's where we're at with.
But they're all like, because obviously, like Brock Bowers was on that team, and Brock Bowers, for my money, is. Well, you can see Genji says that no tight ends in the first except for Pitts and Bowers, and Pitts was only in the first because everybody was already drafting Pitts in the first, so you might as well take him and then trade him and get that value. But Bowers is like, you watch Bowers and it's just like, man, he's it. Like, you are him. But then again, you watch Darnell Washington, who's in that same offense, and when he's not blocking, he'll run like just he's got the ball. He'd be down the seam and he'll catch it and just kind of swat guys away from him. He'll run a route like down the sideline and be like 20 yards downfield and turn and back shoulder and then continue running. And you're like, there's no way a man that is 6'7", 250 pounds should be able to do that. But he does.
The few clips I've seen of him look like it should be illegal. It looks like they let him on the field with high schoolers.
He had the third best 3-cone at the combine, period. Regardless of position.
Yes. Yeah. So there's that.
Wild. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Tight ends in the first, unless it's Pitts and Bowers. As you said, laughing emojis abound. Gavin, are you all fading 49er pass catchers with their question mark? No. I try to I try to focus players and what I think is their ability and what they've proven, what they'll continue to do. For example, Deebo Samuel looks like kind of a value to me right now.
If you were fading pass catchers with questionable quarterback situations, you're going to have to fade like 9 teams.
That's very conservative number of you.
Yeah.
Good receivers.
No, 19. Sorry.
You fixed it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Elijah Moore or Tyler Algier?
Algier.
I'll take more just to make it contentious, but our 49ers skill players are buys. Actually, I can't think of one. Like, I think Lance is an interesting spot. Kittle's at a really interesting spot. Deebo Samuel is. And Faye's fine. It's not back up in the 4th round or anything, so it's fine. So I don't entirely disagree. EJD, what top 10 running back that has posted just as good or better numbers after
Adrian
an ACL?
Peterson.
Saquon.
Like literally the
Saquon.
first one. And I mean, all of them.
Nick Chubb.
Oh, man.
Since
This is
Adrian
a
Peterson
early.
surgery. has just been kind of
like Nick Chubb.
I mean, if you're talking
the
very next year, maybe
Nick Chubb and Todd Gurley had him in college, so you're not even thinking about. But
Nick Chubb lost both of his knees at the same time. Literally, they were removed from his body on the field.
This feels like
Frank Gore was injury prone for a long time.
I'm not up to date on injury. This is stuff that we were debating back with Adrian Peterson, and then he did it, and then everyone else since then has done
not a
it.
human.
I feel like some updating might be necessary.
Somebody drafted him.
Not human.
Adrian
Peterson is not human.
Somebody drafted him.
I did my first initial rank at tight end, but I can't say I'm deep in the weeds. I know Musgrave's name, and he looked fine. Do you have?
Yeah, I mean, he's okay. I have my notes on him. I don't have my rankings.
I've called up the stream crashes.
So he has good enough speed that he can create mismatches in line and down. He can get downfield and be split wide. He's a field stretcher. I think he provides some verticality from the tight end position. He's good at finding holes along the sidelines against zones, which is kind of a new thing where they're doing the cover two, and there's a hole kind of between levels of zones. And he plays the boundary really well. He run blocks like he's pass blocking, though, where instead of when you run block, you want to run out and hit the defender and push them. But he gives ground like he's pass blocking, which is not ideal. Oregon State ran away from him almost all the time. So they weren't using him as a blocker. They were running away from him as a blocker. And I do think that he plays to contact a lot. He gets kind of into defenders in too many of his routes and then can't re-separate. And so he's fine, but he's not. I don't see him as being as much of a difference maker as Mayer, Kincaid, or Washington, and even Laporta. So
I've got him ranked last.
Yeah,
I just looked at my notes on Sheets because I can't actually pull up the actual sheet because it crashes the stream. So I pulled up the sheet. I've got Patreons to remember my notes. I didn't understand it until I saw that last year. His receiving stats looked kind of decent last year when he played 2 games and got 169 receiving yards. Year before that, when he got 10 games and 300 yards, not so great. I don't mess with that. If that 2 games is actually 12 games, he'd be great.
Right.
So no, I'm not particularly in on that one. You're the 106. The three
Addison.
QBs.
Oh wait,
Bijan and JSM went. Are you taking Gibbs over Levis? Gibbs.
Yes.
Lamar or Fields?
Addison
Lamar.
over Levis too.
Lamar or Fields, guys? I said Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar. I think.
Yeah. And Zach's not allowed to talk about Jalen Hyatt without singing Zoot Zoot Hyatt.
Hyatt.
Throw the ball down the field.
Tight end premium 1.5. What range of draft pick would you give up for Hunter Henry? Mid to late second, maybe. If I just needed
Charles.
someone.
How many times did that guy bust his knee up and came back and was fantastic? Sorry, I've been looking it up.
Statistically significant running back, if I remember the numbers right, ever, by the way. Gibbs or Higgins? Higgins. Especially before the draft, at least.
Yeah. Yes, Higgins, but with the caveat that Gibbs is going to be a top.
Yeah, we like Gibbs a lot.
Well, but he's going to be a top 6 or 7 running back headed into the season.
I would believe that. Yes.
I mean, I still said Higgins, Russ, but I'm just saying that Gibbs is going to have some value.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and he should.
Number 5.
Oh, this isn't me.
Justin Johnson, how would you feel about drafting Condre Miller and Izzy? I'm not really in on Miller, but I probably should be.
At the 112-201,
but
that's
the
not bad.
112-201, it's fine. He's a top 12 Dynasty ADP running back in the rookie class so far. He's a runner. He's a good runner. If you don't have any other picks in the draft, it depends who's on the board is ultimately the answer. It's like trade for what? If Addison's fallen there, like I'm taking Addison. I have him ranked at a certain spot, and I would take the players that are above him. I don't know to tell you. But yeah, where he's currently valued at the end of the first round, I think that's a fine pick. But if Charbonnet's there, if Tank's there, I'm going that way.
So there is an interesting player, and Peter, I haven't heard you talk about him, and I hadn't talked about him. I hadn't watched him until this week, and we're going to talk about him tomorrow on the Dynasty Dummies. But Eric Gray out of Oklahoma, like I was not expecting his film to pop like it did. I wasn't, and he is going to be a player that I will end up with probably more shares than I should in the early second and beyond. So, hello, DLF.
Zach, hide. Just hide behind the camera for a second. Hey, DLF. Only us DLF content creators hit. No, hey. I assume that's Addison actually. So
probably yeah.
Would be good anyway.
The Ravens are meeting with.
Well, that's what you're shooting for, though. Is you're shooting for those running backs that have upside. And there are. Oh my goodness, there are so many running backs in this class who have potential to do other Charbonnet, Roshan Johnson, Kendra Miller, Gray, Bigsby, Abanaconda, Zach Evans, Evan Hull, Devin A-Chain, Sean Tucker. Like all of those players have potential to come in and
especially without the draft, it's a little hard to guess. But yeah, my answer is I probably have some running backs above him I'd rather take there. But if that's your guy, you should definitely feel comfortable taking him there. That's actually a pretty reasonable ADP for him, and that's the best we can do. You take him as reasonable enough value, but you take your shots. Any strong opinions on Tyson Bagnet? Don't know that guy. Deuce Vaughn, love him. He's a receiver at the NFL level, though. Abanikanda, I'm not a huge fan, but Zach just mentioned him as someone on the outside. Chris Rogers, it's all right. A.T. Perry, I actually like pretty as kind of a deep wide receiver sleeper, as much value as they have. Ford Witten knows Xavier Hutchinson. I have recorded a video on this, but A.T. Perry and Hutchinson, there's a group of junk drawer wide receivers that I like, but Hutchinson kind of doesn't make the top three. I think there's some interest there. We'll see what the NFL thinks.
My problem is I will never be able to hear the name Ford Wheaton without saying it like Jay might.
Wheaton. Yes. My problem with Zach Kuntz is that I ended up listening to the Hootenanny before I looked at it. His production in that 1 year is pretty good after he traded down to a lower conference to get out from under the situation he was in. But that was my first impression, so I hate him. And so I find stats that prove that. And his QB targeted rate is ass. I think he's bad. But actually, those 1 year stats are actually productive as a receiver. But I'm not buying it. I listened to the Hootenanny first. That's just where I'm at.
Yeah, he's a move tight end. He's fine.
Yeah,
but whatever. I did like A.T. Perry. Blake, go. A.T.
Perry's interesting.
I hate that. I don't like plugging myself, but I'll plug J. Mike and Matt Foreman. Go find the Dynasty Dummies podcast on. We're even on Spotify now. We Spotify. We're braving that. We're braving.
You're gonna get sued.
I hope so. It's fair use, baby. Talk to my lawyer, who is
so much work,
just off screen. But yeah. So go find the Dynasty Dummies podcast.
Tell him to go back to bed.
And we do the Dynasty Dummies Hootenanny. We've done I think 6 or 7 shows so far. We got another one tomorrow night, and then another catch-all next Thursday. And we will have been through something like 68 players. So
yeah, I've recorded it. I've got to edit it and upload it. But there's a solid there's 8 wide receivers who are interesting in this class. To be honest, outside of the main group, like top of the fold, some level of expectation of draft capital. My top three: A.T. Perry, Jaden Reed, who late round QB told everyone about, and then the guy I like more than everyone. So I'm gonna get that one up soon. So A.T. Perry is interesting. Those are all the players here that I have thoughts on. Deuce is just tiny, and I love that because people underrate it, but he's got significant receiving chops and actually just production in general in college. So he might be a receiving running back in the NFL.
Donnell Pumphrey.
Don't know.
Yeah, that's the point.
Cool. Best movie villain.
Hannibal Lecter.
Clearly, the real answers are like Hannibal Lecter, Darth Vader, but
Ledger Joker, pretty good.
Just go watch Leon the Professional.
Yeah,
and watch Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman is great in like everything, literally everything.
Literally everything. Like, yeah, he's just so.
I like Dustin Hoffman as Hook. He was pretty good at that.
I want me, mine, now.
Yeah, let's take him on that one. Aside from Bajan and Gibbs, it feels like every single running back is relevant on day 2. Yes, that's where we're at. If they get day 2 draft capital, they're probably going to be.
But it's not. Like, there's so many of them that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not
that drafted in the 5th, but if it goes to a good spot, I don't think I care.
This is a different class than a lot of classes because there are so many actually decent running backs in this class that have 3-down upside, that have the ability to be a pass catcher. Like there are a lot of good running backs.
Chris Rogers is funny to me.
I just remembered my kids are on spring break and I don't have to wake up to wake them up, so I get to sleep later.
Sorry, the silent H is just reminding me of Wolave. I'm never not going to think about that ever again. James Tucker.
Wolave.
It's Wolave, therefore he's high ranked. And James Tucker in a single QB league rookie draft. What round do you predict QBs will start going in? You might get one at the end of the first if it's Richardson and he goes in the top 5. People take that swing.
I think you'll see people not wanting to make decisions and just start taking quarterbacks.
Yeah, when it gets into that, just take the solid position. That's why tight ends end up going there sometimes.
I don't think it's the right answer, but I think that's what we'll see.
It should be like 204, something like that.
Yes.
But
I agree.
Will Travis Dye be drafted?
Shrug. I don't know who's. I don't predict who's going to be drafted or not. Like I don't find value in that. Mr. Scampers, I hate to.
Oregon running back, Pac-12, somewhere probably. Yeah, but I don't predict the NFL draft either. Who knows? We just deal with, we get to wait and then they tell us and then we can use that. That's an awesome thing. Blake, this is my first time listening, watching you guys. Well, thank you, Blake. I really appreciate the knowledge. I'll check out Dynasty Dummies too. Definitely do. And Russ does the Trade Addicts podcast. Definitely worth a listen to. He also does Dynasty Wall Street, which is a really good trade show from the DTC network with John, another of our favorite people, and some other guy who we don't like to talk about. So I checked those out too. Mr. Scampers, Sir Ben Kingsley, Morgan Freeman, and Lucky Number 11 are a good.
That movie is really good and got no love. Like I loved silly Josh Hartnett when he came out. Like he did the serious thing, but then he went and did Lucky Number 11 and 40 Days and 40 Nights or whatever it was called, where he gave up sex for Lent or something like that.
Yeah,
like he was funny, and I got sad when he went away.
What franchise has the best villains? Toy Story. Strong take.
Sid.
And now I was thinking about this the other day because I forget. I watch things and I forget that particular medium. Watching TV shows and movies, they do not lock into my head like the same way books or NFL stats do, I guess. And I got reminded one the other day, which is Bart from the Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. They made into a TV show with Elijah Wood, and they invented a character called Bart. She was awesome. And I forgot until I saw a clip the other day, and that's actually one of my favorite characters. And I forgot
Oh yeah,
about
but
it.
also
She's not really a villain though, so I didn't get to say it. But
speaking of Umbridge,
Yeah.
What?
Valid.
Yeah. You
Dolores
do
Umbridge,
love to hate her. That's
fuck
true.
that bitch.
But I think a good villain is actually someone you kind of like. Good villains make good movies because you like them. Like
Yes,
Hades
best
from the
villains
Disney
are
animated
relatable.
movie of Hercules. Really good. Underrated. No?
What did you say?
Hades from the Hercules Disney animated
Oh.
movie.
Okay, don't get me wrong. James Wood he's a terrible human being, but yeah, that was
It
perfect.
was well voiced. Yeah.
It was so good. Yeah, he was so good there.
Stephen, I take offense to that, obviously.
Stinky Pete, you really are Stinky Pete.
Well, he really was, to be fair.
Are we there? Look over
yes.
there.